All right, welcome back. At the end of the last episode, I have finished. Let's see, where did I leave off? Oh, I finished putting on the oil pump, and then I got to the point where the book says to put on the windage tray. This guy right here. Okay, and remember I mentioned that this I was going to try to use the old one. And man, I spent probably a good, I don't know, 2 hours today cleaning this up. And I got it looking brand spanking new. Okay. And when I take this off, look how clean I got that. I mean, it's like, I took some time. Actually, what really worked well to clean this up, to be honest, um, was, let me show you what worked well. That right there. Dawn Platinum 4 times grease cleaning power right there. Well, first I sprayed some brake cleaner, just ordinary brake cleaner. So I sprayed it down good with brake cleaner, and then after it dried, I rubbed that on with a sponge and sponged it on, and um, then I hit it with a pressure washer, and the pressure washer in that Dawn just cleaned everything off of it. It looks better than a brand new one. Okay, now all of that, unfortunately, appears to be a wasted effort. Why? Because watch what happens when I turn the crank. See that? That's a stroker crank. Okay. This isn't stock. This is a stroker, 4-inch stroker. Okay. And what happens is, because it's a larger crank, it's hitting the top. Okay. And I'll turn the motor over again so you can hear what I'm talking about. Actually, you could probably even see it. Okay. You hear it? It's these, the connecting rods are bumping up against here, and unfortunately that is no good. Now the book says that you can hammer it out. Okay. The book says to modify your oil deflector tray, put markings on it where it hits, and then pound it out with a hammer. Okay. To modify it. However, I think what I'm going to do is research what it would cost to buy a new one, a tall one, because they make these deflector trays. They make them specifically for the purposes of being taller, so that there's more clearance in the oil pan, or more clearance for the connecting rods. Yeah. So that's now if this tray is, if a new tray that's tall for this purpose is, I don't know how much they cost, $150, $200, we'll see. But if it's going to take a long time to get one, I may in the meantime go ahead and pound it out and see what happens. This is pretty rigid, so I don't know. I'm having my confidence is not particularly high that I'd be able to pound this out to my liking, to how I feel good about it. So at this point in time, I've got some research to do. And either way, whether I'm pounding it out or whether I'm buying a new one, it's going to take probably 3, 4, or 5 days before I can get past this step and move on with the rest of the rebuild. So unfortunately, there's going to be another break in the videos here for a few days, but I will be right back as soon as humanly possible, because daggone, look how close I want to get this thing done. So anyway, huge disappointment given how much time I've spent cleaning this, but and it looks brand new, but I'll save it for my next LS rebuild that's more stock. Okay, thanks for watching. Welcome back. Well, in the last episode, I think where we left off was I had the stock oil deflector tray, and we put that on, and let's see here if I could get this. We put that on, and then I grabbed a wrench here and turned. Hear that noise? That noise is the connecting rods tapping the windage tray. However, good news, I've done some research and I found that there are several manufacturers of windage trays that work better for stroke cranks for these kinds of modifications. And I found a company called Mast Motorsports, M-A-S-T, Motorsports. And they make this one right here, which is a direct replacement for the stock windage tray. And I'm going to set them down on the table side by side and let you see how they compare. So there they are. That's the stock, and that's the one from Mast Motorsports. Okay, see how it's lifted, sort of, see how it's kind of taller, basically. That's the gist. It's taller, you know, but not terribly taller. The good news is all of the bolts are the same. Look at the nice side-by-side comparison. Actually, I have it. Let me flip it around. There we go. All right, so everything is on the same side. So like, for instance, see this cutout right here? That's the same as this cutout right here. Okay, this little notch here is the same as this notch right here. Obviously, there's more openings on the side because it's taller. But the idea is you know, there's the same number of bolts. You know, I had, in this case, I had the 5 bolt or the 10 bolts. Okay, so this is considered the long tray. There's a short one that only goes here up to here. Okay, but I've got the long one. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and put that on, and then we'll see how that works. All right, so we're going to take the new one, and considering that the front looks kind of goes like this, right, with this cutout here in the back. So I'm going to just turn this around so the same cut is in the same place, and then this says front, so I'm going to put this side up in the front. Look how nicely that fit on there. Everything lined up perfectly. Look at that. It was like this perfect option for that. All right. So anyway, with this on, let's go ahead and turn the crank here and listen for any interference. Ready? Well, by goodness, there is none. All right. So I'm happy. This new aftermarket tray from Mast Motorsports is doing the trick, and I am going to go ahead and put this on now. So I'm going to set my camera in the tripod so you can kind of go along with me as I install this. All right. What do we do with all new parts though before we install it? Yep, you guessed it. Clean it. Oh, there's some dirt on there. Never hurts to clean it, even though it's brand new, you know? Look at that. All right, so I got my handy book here, and it says, lay the oil deflector tray atop the main bolts, noting correct orientation. It's a good idea to shoot some oil into the oil pump inlet at this point for initial lubrication. All right, so we're gonna put some oil into the oil pump inlet. All right, so there's a good amount of oil in there. All right, and then it says, install a new O-ring onto the end of the oil pump pickup tube. All right, so let's get into oil pickup tube. Brand new oil pump pickup tube. All right. Same thing. I'm gonna wipe it off with some wipe it off. All right. And now the O-ring. Okay. Now this oil pump came with new rings, so I'm gonna go ahead. The oil pump came with this package of rings. And it says here, this oil pump uses 2 different O-rings depending on the design of the pickup tube that installs to the pump. If the tube looks like either design in figure 1 or if the tube looks like either design in figure 1 or the OE ring was red, then use Melling's green O-ring. Okay, so if my tube looks anything like these, then I'm going to use the green. And then it says here, if the tube looks like figure 2 or the OE ring was blue, then use Melling's black O-ring. So we're going to use Melling's green O-ring, which actually looks a lot like Melling. For the Melling oil pump included this green ring. The pickup tube included a red ring. Okay, so what Melling is saying is use their green ring instead of this red one that came with it. Okay, I'm not sure what the difference is, but they look pretty similar. So I'm going to go ahead and take this red one off and slide this green one on. Okay. Now the book says, coat the O-ring in the oil pump inlet opening with oil. Then push the pickup tube into the oil pump. Okay? So we're going to put some oil in the ring here. And then we're going to put some oil on the O-ring. All right, now we're going to push this into that went in pretty easy. All right, now it says, and by the way, I'll also point out that the tube does this pickup tube works perfectly with this aftermarket windage tray. This puts mounts right here, no problem, and this and then this piece here mounts perfectly too. This of the pickup tube. All right. All right. So now it says, ensure the tube is all the way in before inserting and tightening the retaining bolt, or else you may damage the O-ring or push it out of position. All right. The retaining bolt gets 106 inch-pounds of torque, while the stock deflector tray nuts, one of which also secures the pickup tube bracket, receive 18 foot-pounds. All right. So now I have to find the bolts and the nuts that go on here, and then we're gonna bolt all this down. Okay. Okay, I found the bolts, and basically what I'm doing here, or what I've done, or I guess I should say what I did to clean these up, because when I had them in a sandwich bag and they were all oily from when I took them off, and look how clean they are now. I literally just literally put them in an old disposable cup, like a drinking cup, like a throwawayable cup, and I filled the bottom of it with Dawn dish detergent, and that just ate the oil right off, and I just rinsed them off and they're clean. So anyway, you know, gone through this much trouble, why not make sure everything is sparkling clean? All right. As you could tell, my goal is to ensure that everything's clean. All right, these get tightened to 18 foot-pounds. 15, 16, 17, 18. All right, now I need to find the bolt that holds the, oh, you know what? Unfortunately, what happened here was, since I torqued these down first, this caused, you see what happened here? This caused the pickup tube to come out. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to loosen the two bolts that hold the pickup tube. All right. Now we're going to push this back in. Okay. All right. Now I have to find this bolt that holds this tube in, because I Can't find it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I found the bolt that holds the pickup tube down, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten it down. All right. Now this gets tightened to 106 inch-pounds. All right, so let's go ahead and set this to this does foot-pounds, and it does kilograms, but no inch. All right, let's see if our digital torque wrench does inch-pounds. Waiting for it to calibrate. The lowest this goes is 150 inch-pounds. Alright, so I gotta do a little bit of conversion here to find out how many inch-pounds is foot-pounds. So, went to Google, asked the question, how many foot-pounds is 106 inch-pounds? It turns out it's 8.8. So, let me see if I can adjust this guy here to 8.8. It'll go as low as 5. 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what? I'm just going to round it up to 10 for good measure. What the heck? Maybe just under 10. We'll go to 9. All right, and that's for the bolt that connects the pickup tube to the oil pump. It doesn't take much. All right, now we're going to tighten the rest of the bolts for the windage tray. One last check. All right. Wow, we're starting to look like an engine here.